Okay. So, yeah, I guess I could face it towards you if you want, but...
Oh, no, it doesn't matter.
I think it's mostly just for the audio part. So, yeah. So has any restoration been done already at the 63rd Street beach?
No, the project is starting this fall. So it's a project with Army Corps of Engineers.
Oh, okay.
And so they'll be doing most of the work. So it's going to start probably around September.
Okay. And what is the woody shrub that's down there, like, kind of dominating the area? Do you know, like, by the pier? There's sort of like trees.
The trees, those are cottonwoods.
Oh, really? Down on the beach?
They're like on the sand. They're maybe about 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
They're all cottonwoods.
Oh.
And they will all be actually cut down.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yes, they'll all be cut down because cottonwoods are very invasive. So even though they're native to this area, they produce so many seeds that they just keep invading over and over, and they become very hard to manage.
And so what would you put in their place?
So the majority of the plant is going to be, the majority of the area will be covered with marram grass.
Okay.
Because marram grass does a really good job of stabilizing the sand, and it's one of the goals of this project is stabilize sand movement. And there will be other grasses that will be added, and some forbs, flowering forbs to add interest towards the back of the dune. There'll also be some like black oaks and some like shrubs that you would normally find in a dune environment.
Great. So the Army Corps of Engineers will do it, and they have people that they're hiring? Or?
Yeah, so what they do is we received a grant to do this work, but the way that they work is they actually, it's like a partnership, and so, they pay for a certain amount of the project, and we pay for a certain amount of the project, and then they actually get a contract to do the work. So they don't have people on staff who actually physically do anything. They, in terms of putting the plans, they put out a contract, and then people and companies bid on those
landscaping companies.
Landscaping or whoever is qualified to do this kind of work.
And how much does it cost? How long does it take for something like this?
To actually. For the Army Corps process, or just to actually do this particular project?
To do this particular project.
So if we think it's going to pretty much take an entire year, so from fall 2009 through fall of 2010.
Wow.
Yeah. So because it's not like it's not going to be something that you do every day. It's more of we're going to be spending the fall actually removing all those cottonwoods, and then we are not going to actually put the plants in until spring of next year.
Right, that makes sense.
Yes, right. Exactly. And then we have to monitor how those plants do through the summer, and then if anything dies, then we'll probably have to replace it and things like that. So it's going to be a year, maybe a year and a half project.
Wow. And what's the budget for something like that, if you know?
It's a little bit under $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just labor and...
It's labor and it's design. The design is not really. The design was actually done mostly by the Park District. But you cover Army Corps costs for them to do what they're doing, putting all this paperwork together, and then most of the plant. There's actually a good amount of area in there, so most of the plans we'll be putting in is actually by plug. So you actually exactly. So you have to, and we want to put them in there as close as possible so they actually stabilize the sand sooner. So it's actually a lot of plugs, just plants.
Yeah,
so majority of the cost is actually the cost of buying the plants, and then we'll be taking those some of the cottonwoods, and putting it in the water to build fish habitat.
Great. So a lot of people fish off of that
of the pier, and then the Great Lakes. There's so that the fisheries component has been very is really degraded. So this is the funding for this project is coming from the grant that really the type of grant where they try to restore fisheries.
Okay.
So that's the attempt to try to bring some of the of natural like native fish to the area by creating habitat.
Wow. So what kind of fish? Just
I don't even know. I'm not a fish person, so I don't even know what kind of. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know.
And so is there like an educational or aesthetic goal for the project too? Because that's kind of like the environmental.
Well, the aesthetic goal is one of them is really stabilize the sand. So on the one side of 63rd Street Beach, on the northwest side, their sand is constantly being uplifted, and it goes like down the hill by the underpass, and it covers up the bike path.
Okay.
So we were trying to.
They have grass. You have grass over there.
We have grass, but the issue is that the sand, you have to stabilize the sand at the source. So you have to put the plants actually on the beach.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the aesthetic components. Actually try to make the area look good and make it more usable by the public. And of course, we try to always add forbs that have like a three season interest, so something's always flowering, so it doesn't look like it's just grass.
Right, because then people are like, what's that doing?
Exactly. And in terms of the education component, throughout the project, there'll be, probably the signs are already up there, there are signs that say, okay, here's what we're doing, here's what this project is about, and then after the project is done, there'll be permanent signage that will be installed that says 63rd Street Beach. Here's what happened. Here's the purpose of this nature area, and you'll probably see some shoreline birds, things like that. So most of our nature areas have permanent educational signage that's installed.
Yeah, I've been to a few around.
Yeah, so there'll be something like that.
Great, awesome. And just like about the history of the area, Jackson Park was created a long time ago. What was there before, do you know? Or?
It was mostly marshland. So it was just so it was that kind of habitat.
And so what you're doing now isn't really like bringing it back to what it used to be, because now there's like a beach there and.
I don't think it was what you would find around like Indiana dunes. So it's not really traditional kind of restoration, because it's not really a remnant. I mean, it's most of that area is now fill, and the sand is not. I mean, the reason we have sand there is because of the pier.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the piers are engineered to hold the sand in place. Yeah, so that's not natural, but we try to naturalize as much of the area as possible.
Plenty of lands that were naturally sandy are now
not.
Right.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's like evening it up.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think
that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry to bother you.
No, you didn't bother me at all.